Amanda Greensmith, as the IRFU Women's Development Manager, could you just give us an update on the various consultative processes across the domestic game in recent months and looking ahead?
Yes, I suppose since we sat in December and the report was launched, essentially, obviously one of the recommendations was around the women's AIL moving to a 6 and 6. So since then, we have met individually with each club to, I suppose, get their thoughts on this and how they would see it working or how they would see it affecting them. So we've done that on an individual basis with each club. We've also had 2 rugby committee meetings at which the same has been discussed. So we're moving along through the process quite nicely. We're also in the midst of an audit which should be completed very shortly. We're just waiting on some final pieces of information from the provinces, which we can then take back to the rugby committee and take a full 360 view on everything as we continue to move forward. And of course we'll look to engage with the clubs again before any further progress is made on the decision to go 6 and 6 or remain as a full league.
March has been a particularly busy month. International Women's Day, obviously the 10-year anniversary of the Grand Slam victory the other day, and the Women in Rugby Network took place. Could you just give us an overview of that? How many people attended and what were the objectives from that day?
Yeah, so we've been committed to setting up a women's network for quite some time to give females within the provinces an opportunity to network together, to meet. It's the one thing research always tells us is that females like to feel part of a community and to, look to empower each other and to learn from each other. So we saw this as a perfect opportunity around International Women's Day to launch that network. We did so at Johnstown House and we had over 50 women present on the day. And the energy in the room was absolutely fantastic, and the topics of discussion and conversation, the room was a hive of activity, so we were very, very excited by the day itself. And we've had subsequent meetings with each of our 4 leaders who are going to set up the provincial networks in each of the 4 provinces, and plans are in place now to continue that momentum and bring the females within the provinces together to continue the progress and the work that they'd like to see carried out, and also to help them support each other and continue on their journeys, be it in their clubs provincially or nationally. And we'd hope to see some of them potentially come into our leadership programme as well in time to come.
In terms of another significant update, Anne-Marie Hughes recently been appointed as the new head of equity, diversity and inclusivity. How important strategically is that appointment? It's a first for the IRFU, and can you just maybe give a quick overview of that role?
Yeah, no, I mean, I've worked with Anne-Marie for a while now, since I started within the IRFU, and she's been a keen driver and leader around the leadership programme that we run through the Spirit Department, and indeed the networking day. I think it's going to be a brilliant opportunity to continue driving that diversity and inclusivity in through the IRFU, and we're already seeing her previous work come to fruition in that a number of our leaders for our network are people who've come through our leadership programme. So I've no doubt Anne-Marie will bring the same energy to this role that she has brought so far in the Spirit Department. So I look forward to seeing what's got to come yet from her.
Just finally, we're off the back of 2 Grand Slam successes. What positive impact do you think you'll have for young girls and for women to get involved in the game, or people maybe who traditionally haven't fallen quite in love with rugby or haven't maybe felt connected yet? What do you think the positive bounce will be from the 2 victories this weekend? Yeah,
look, I mean, everybody loves success. I jump on a bandwagon myself from time to time. I'm partial to them, and I think that's the beauty of us as a country. I think we really row behind our teams in whatever sport, and indeed any of our athletes, and they're performing really, really well, and we love to get behind them. So I think the bounce from the 2 Grand Slams at the weekend could be quite significant into the summer and rolling into the World Cup as well. There's a lot of rugby yet to come, and I think there's a great opportunity for people to see what rugby is about, and I think the increased invisibility can only lead to good things as well in terms of people wanting to become potentially more involved with their clubs, be it as a player or otherwise.
And of course there's the TikTok Women's Six Nations kicks off this weekend, so a lot of players who would have seen from the AIL, from the Celtic Challenge, from the Interpros before that will have an opportunity now to really showcase their talent.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think it's really exciting going into the Women's Six Nations coming up in the next weekend, and it is that opportunity for those players who, as you identified, were identified through, be it Interpros or Celtic Cup, and I think that was the beauty of the Celtic Cup, is it gave players that opportunity to put their hands up. I think what's also really exciting is it's an opportunity for people to continue their support from seeing their players either in the club or at an interprovincial level. I think with the Interpros being televised, people are now identifying more with the players and they're more recognisable and there's more visibility. So I think it's nice to see that bounce then into the green jersey, because you'd hope to see that transfer as well of support from provincial into the national team. But it's certainly exciting times ahead.